Amidst the clear date of April 16, 2021, a storm brewed, not of wind and rain, but of negligence. The perfect storm of Forrester Flight Company that led to the death of pilot Bryce Harrelson and all 58 people aboard Flight X1027. We, the plaintiff, have brought forth 3 causes of action against the defense: negligence, wrongful death, and survivorship, which we proved by preponderance, or greater weight, of the evidence. Starting with negligence. We heard talk from the defense side today about Cardinal changing their training materials, or that Bryce was the one responsible and untrained who was a skilled and competent decorative military pilot. But this is all a distraction from the negligent mistakes Forrester Flight Company has made over the years that have finally become apparent with the crash of April 16. Members of the jury, this was an accident waiting to happen. Forrester had a duty to maintain safety, and Forrester breached that duty when they allowed pilots to fly and passengers to board planes with a software that should have never been rolled out in the first place. We heard from their CEO, Lake Campbell, that before software can be sent to end users, glitches need to be resolved in the system, which is not the case with Easy Flight, that to this day does not have a patch in their system, and instead they negligently issued a warning to pilots for them to deal with this malfunction themselves. Another burden on an already complicated and stressful job. As we heard with Dr. Fisher Street with his NTSB report in exhibit number 7. And with our computer engineering expert, Jaden Hawley, we heard that this was a foreseeable accident that the defense could have prevented. That glitch they were trying to make 1% equates to 1,350 flights. With 58 people aboard like there were on April 16, that equates to around 78,300 lives that are at risk every single day Easy Flight is used. This is a statistical fact that the defense has chosen to ignore and instead take the cheaper and easier route to handle things. A classic but sad example of corporate greed. Another key ingredient to the preventable storm they created, a PIN number. A PIN number that no other airline company uses, that their own expert admits, River Lynch, admits is an unnecessary hindrance to operating the aircraft safely. It was in the hands of Forrester Flight Company to fix their negligence and fix their software, yet they failed to do so, directly resulting in the wrongful death of Bryce Harrelson. And as a direct result of this carelessness, we reached the survivorship charge. Imagine Bryce's pain and mental distress and fear as that plane was ascending and descending in the air, and the following burning of the plane. If Bryce had survived that crash, he would be here today, bringing forth causes of action against the defense. But instead, my poor widow, Miss Harrelson, who is now a single mom, is doing so despite her mental and financial burden and suffering. And again, the defense presented witnesses who lack credibility and whose testimony amounts to nothing but excuses and incompetencies. Again, their CEO, Lake Campbell, testifying to having no expertise in any of the departments she oversees. And their developer of this entire Easy Flight software system smiling up on the stand saying, "Go Jackets" for Georgia Tech when we're dealing with the faulty system she created. And their expert witness, their own expert, as they pointed out themselves, River Lynch, having a spelling error in her document that she wrote. Members of the jury, as I said again, we are representing Joe Harrelson here, but we are the voices of an even bigger entity than we can bring into this courtroom today. We are the voices of every single person who chooses to fly with Forrester Flight Company in the future. The storm they have created has not yet passed, and if they keep on with the Easy Flight software and the policies they have in place, thousands of lives will be at risk every single day, which is why we ask that you render a verdict in favor of justice, in favor of the plaintiff, and find the defense liable on all 3 causes of action. Thank you.